What's going on, guys? Wi-Fi Star 25 here with a review of Grand Theft Auto 5 for the PC. So this game has been out for a while on console, a little bit over 2 years actually, so it was a huge process to get on PC. First there was a petition, then they said it was coming, then we had all these delays, a lot of delays, but it's finally here and I couldn't be more excited. So just because this game has been out for so long, I'm not going to be doing a review of the story or gameplay, because I think you guys probably know what this game is about, and you could probably find reviews a lot of other places. So I want to talk about how it performs on PC, what I think about the graphics on PC, and more importantly, how good of a port it is to the PC. So it's pretty notorious that Rockstar doesn't really care about the PC community, or I don't know if they don't care about the PC community, but they definitely do put the console communities before the PC one. The console is always pretty much their focus. You know, games like LA Noire I felt weren't good ports to the PC. It felt like the graphics were exactly the same, and although I loved the game, I didn't really feel like they did a good job translating it to our platform. Other than that, guys, like Red Dead Redemption never made it to the PC, and that's a game I would have loved to play. So they definitely haven't, always shown the love to the PC community, but I'm happy to say that it looks like things have kind of changed, and that Grand Theft Auto 5 is really a good port to the PC. And let's just get started by talking about the graphics and the performance. So there are significantly better graphics on the PC version of this game than any of the other versions, even the next-gen consoles. So the graphics are just really good. The textures are so crisp. The lighting is great. I love the way the game looks, especially at night, but it looks really good. I wouldn't say it's like a top-tier game in terms of the best graphics you could get. That definitely still has to go to Crysis and some of the Battlefield games, but it still does look really beautiful, which is even more impressive when you consider the whole scale of the game. So the game does run at a really smooth frame rate of 60 FPS. That doesn't necessarily mean that it always runs at 60 frames per second. I know most people know that, but some people don't. If you're running it at too high graphics, it's not going to reach that frame rate, and it's not always going to reach it. But if you're playing it at graphics your machine can handle, it's probably going to be hit around that 60 frames per second that you're looking for. They give you that really smooth animations, especially important in games that involve lots of combat and driving, which Grand Theft Auto 5 definitely does. Let's talk about the launch for a second. There really were no bugs at launch. I know there were a few, but really nothing that I ran into. I really didn't have that many connection problems. My game crashed a couple times, something that could probably be expected with a launch of a game this big. I didn't need to wait for a patch, which I do for some games like Far Cry 4 and Advanced Warfare. I didn't really have any lag. I could really just get started and get playing right away. It was really surprising at how well this launched, especially the online version, just because the game did so poorly with launch on console. People weren't able to get on for weeks, and this game I got on in the first minute, so really no complaints. Rockstar did a really good job making sure this game was ready to go for PC, and I'm sure that has to do with some of the reasons why we got those delays. Other than that, guys, this game does have 4K support, which is cool if you have a 4K monitor. Unfortunately, I'm not able to buy one just because they're super expensive, but if you do have one, congratulations, and you can play Grand Theft Auto 5 in that beautiful 4K. So let's talk about the controls just quickly. Really nothing to complain about. Everything feels natural, really well planned out on the keyboard. You can use the controller if you want, but I really never felt the need to. It really felt really good on the keyboard. It's obvious that they put some thought into it and didn't just, pick random keys for stuff, which some games they've made have felt like that. But the controls are really good. Again, nothing to complain about. Next, let's go into the features that are only available on the PC, and there are quite a few. First, we got the new video editor. The video editor is pretty cool. You can basically make movies in-game. If you're into that kind of stuff, I know lots of people are. Team Fortress kind of has a movie community, and I bet Grand Theft Auto 5 is going to have some contests or something. Definitely cool that this is involved or included in the game, and it's nice because I know some people are into this. Some people like watching them. I watch them. I think they're pretty cool. Not something that I'm completely in love with, but it is always a nice thing to include in a game. Next, we got the music files. If you want, you can put your music in the music files in the game, and then you can listen to your music in-game, which is really cool. Something I really wish more games would allow, and it's really awesome to just roll down the street listening to your own music playing Grand Theft Auto 5. Something that I really like when you can put your personal library in a game. Next, we got the first-person mode, and I know the next-gen consoles have this, but it is something that PC got to, so if you do have last-gen, you're not going to be able to enjoy the first-person mode, but those of us on PC and next-gen console can. And of course, guys, it would be stupid to forget that the modding community is going to be huge in this game. Grand Theft Auto 5 is definitely a fun game, or it's going to be a fun game to use mods in. they're going to do some stupid stuff to the game. They're going to make some really cool stuff, and I just can't wait to see all the stuff that people come up with. It's going to be really fun, and it's going to be a blast to play around with these mods. So if you wanted cool mods, the modding community on the PC is always amazing, and if you want to be able just to screw around in Grand Theft Auto 5, I definitely would recommend getting the PC version, because some of these mods are going to be really cool, and I just can't wait to see what people come up with. So my one complaint is that this game doesn't really have Steam integration. Sure, you can play it on Steam, but I wish instead of using the Rockstar Social Club, they just use Steam. It's kind of a pain in the butt to have to make a whole Rockstar account if you didn't have one. But in case you forgot your password, they did give you a reset, which was kind of cool. It was obviously that they were thinking ahead of the time. It was nice that you could transfer your character from console over to PC if you did play on the console. Personally, I didn't do that, but some of my friends did that, and it was a nice thing to them to add. It was really just obvious that they wanted the PC launch to be as nice and as focused and really just as enjoyable experience as possible. And I have to say, I'm really proud of Rockstar. I'm really excited for their games on PC for the future, because it's really obviously that they took the time to make this game just really great on PC, as great as it was on the console, if not better, and it is better in my opinion. So great job to Rockstar, 2 thumbs up. I'm not going to give the game a score just because I'm reviewing the performance, but if I had to give a score to the performance and the graphics and the feature list, I would have to say a 10 out of 10. But really great job. If you guys do have the console version and you're wondering if it's worth getting, I would say if you have last gen, it's definitely worth getting on the PC if you have a gaming PC. And if you have it on the next gen, like the Xbox One and the PS4, it might be better to get if you want slightly better graphics, and definitely the mods would be another reason to transfer over. Thank you guys for watching. I might have more stuff on Grand Theft Auto 5 in the future. You'll have to stay tuned. I'm not really sure if I do or not. But again, thanks for sticking around and watching the whole video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.